Yeah, I'm in Hollywood land, man. I'm here. So that's hey, that's the place you gotta be, man. If you want to make movies now, come on.
We're in little Berwick-upon-Tweed in Britain. So
our town's more the sort of town that you make movies about, not the town you make movies from.
Definitive 365 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish redone whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 67 of the 365 Flicks podcast, and this one is an indie talk.
It certainly is.
67
though, we're getting there.
60, we are one episode closer to 100 and one episode closer than Graphic Novice will ever get to 100. Yeah?
Yep.
Is that about right?
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
So I'm Kevin, the Pussy X video store clerk, and the man next to me is...
I am Chris, the Scottish Weird Whore.
And as I said, this is an indie talk. We have writer, director, producer, actor, stuntman, although he never got a gig.
Still, it's pretty cool.
But he tried. He went for it. I mean, I've never tried to be a stuntman.
Not on purpose.
No, not on purpose. When I'm inebriated, I am pretty stunty, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with the man tonight on Indie Talk is Keith Sutliff, who has directed the feature film The Mason Brothers, which we both enjoyed. We both thoroughly enjoyed, and I did a review on the website, so you can find that on the website.
Damn fine review it was too.
Nice. It was a damn fine review.
Mm-hmm.
I am very good at these reviews.
I know you are.
Well, I'm not, but I try. I do try. But... The nice thing is that sometimes when I write these reviews and then we get a little tweet, so we're like, you know what, let's just chance our arm, let's flex our pod muscle, let's get this person on and talk to them about this fantastic movie that we've enjoyed, and then they get back to us and say, yeah, okay, and then I go, shit.
What did I say?
What was in the review? But it's very nice to hear things like that when people say that it was a nice review and they enjoyed reading it about their movie, because I liked their movie.
It was a good movie.
So that is the website where you can find the review for the Mason Brothers. Would you like to tell the good people where else they can find us?
Yes, so as you said, the website is www.365flickspodcast.co.uk.
Yeah. So
swing by there and have a look. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter if you search for 365 Flicks Podcast. So we are also on many awesome networks.
Yeah.
Tangible Network.
Yep.
Wicked Radio Network. Weeby Geeks.
Mm-hmm.
Nerdly.co.uk.
Yep.
Our fancy British home.
Fancy pantsy.
We are British and we need a British home.
Well, every British podcast needs a British home.
Exactly.
Dark Damp Night's not on there, though.
Well, they've only just started, bless them.
I know, they are babies. They are pod babies.
Ah.
Yeah.
And, of course, the fantastic hashtag Podern Family on the Twitters.
Yeah. And we got a nice little tweet today. Did you see that? When I put it out? Not the one you're thinking of.
No, not the one.
We will talk about that in a second, though, because, my God, how buzzing was I? I mean, I sent you a picture straight away, so you're going to guess. But before that, we got a nice little tweet from Justin over at Sweet Story Bro, saying
cool.
that how surreal it was to hear us mention his little podcast on our podcast. And let's be honest, Justin, your podcast's great, so let's not go down.
I'm going to start listening to that after.
You'll enjoy it. He's really good. He gets into it.
I'm all to fuck with my podcast at the moment.
Yeah, but
it's those conspiracy guys' fault.
I know, I blame them as well. I mean, they were handy when I was painting because I needed like a long ass podcast to listen to, and if you're going to listen to a long ass podcast, you either go to Weird Science, DC Weird Science comics over there. You go and listen to Jim and Eric over there, or you listen to those conspiracy guys. So one day when I was painting the toilet, I listened to Weird Science because they make you feel like you need a crap sometimes. But when I was painting
most of their stories are about crap.
Yeah. Most of the stories do end in explosive diarrhea. But when I was painting the living room, It was Conspiracy Guys. It was the Marilyn Monroe episode.
But the thing is, it completely messes you up when you...
Yeah.
Because
you cannot listen to anything else.
Yeah.
No. But, as you were alluding to a minute ago, I did get another pretty awesome tweet. And this will tie into... Obviously, we broke the news in the last episode that we are going to be going to Llywelyn in Wales to the Sci Fi Weekender number 8. This is their 8th year. We are really super pumped to go there. We cannot wait to go there and see all these people. But when I posted out the episode that we just posted out, the regular episode, which was 2 days late, I apologise. I do apologise. I've been kicking myself over the weekend.
You're moving home with that.
I know. I am moving house.
Calm down.
That's why we're getting this one done quicker, so that I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so I posted it out. And you know how you put the hashtags in, you put the ats in, you tag the people in there and all that. So we made mention of a British staple of the 90s.
Oh, he's a national treasure.
Oh, he's a national treasure. And we made mention of him in the episode, so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna put a little tweet out there. I'm just gonna say, cannot wait to come to Wales, Sci-Fi Weekender. Get absolutely buzzing at the thought of seeing Pat Sharp. Well, lo and behold, Pat Sharp liked the tweet, retweeted the tweet, and sent me a nice little comment. And I was buzzing. I was absolutely... I took a screenshot within seconds and sent it to you because I was... And I didn't say anything in my tweet about the twins, but he told me to bring my own twins. So, Pat, if you're listening, I hope to God you are, but if you are listening, if I bring the twins, I ain't sharing them. But they'll be Berwick twins, so...
Yeah, you probably would want that being shared.
Be all deformed and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
that's cool. That got weird for a second.
We will get on to the interview in a quick second, but we just want to pimp out the Sci-Fi Weekender just a little bit. I've got a little bit of a press release that I wanna have a little read of, just to kind of let the people out there know the sort of things that you can do when you get there. So this year is Europe's #1 sci-fi and fantasy festival, adds talent, pizzazz, and magic to the mix. Sound good? Sounds good already. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. It looks like in the 8th year they are going full tilt for this one. They want it to be bigger and better than every other year they've had. So with that in mind, for all you Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans, because it's the 20th anniversary, Nicholas Brendan's going to be there, which we talked about last time.
I had a little bit cheeky Buffy marathon.
Did you?
To myself over the weekend there.
Yeah. Did you see a lot of Xander with a Z?
No, I didn't see any of Xander with a Z.
So yeah, he's going to be there. We cannot wait to see him because...
If you say that to him, I'm going to batter you.
I am going to ask him how it's spelled. I am. That's going to be the first question. Just the icebreaker. But yeah, he is going to be there.
So then he goes, this interview's over.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
I don't think he'd call me that. I think he'd call me an asswipe.
You'll go, this interview's over, and then I'll call you a motherfucker.
Okay, yeah, well that'd be cool.
That's okay.
That'd be cool.
Sorry, on you go.
So yeah, he's going to be there. We cannot wait to see him because also he was in the movie, Tom Patton's movie Redwood, which we're looking forward to seeing whenever it comes out. We cannot wait for that. And we had Tom on a couple of indie talks ago to talk about Redwood and talk about Pandorica, and we can't wait to see what Nicholas has to say about it. But on the other hand, we also have the fantastic Chris Barry.
Yeah.
Who is a Rimmer from Red Dwarf, or as we more affectionately like to know, Mr. Britass.
Britass.
I cannot wait to see him.
That's going to be good.
Can I call him Mr. Britass?
Oh, you can.
Yeah. Is it bad that is literally like, I prefer the British Empire to Red Dwarf? I love Red Dwarf, but...
Each to their own, that's not bad at all.
I love British Empire.
I prefer Red Dwarf, but, that's not taking anything away from the British Empire.
The man who has taken over from little Kenny Baker, because Kenny passed away last year, is also going to be there. Jimmy V. You might not recognise the name, but you will recognise... You won't recognise the face either, because he normally plays monsters.
I think he's been at a...
He's been at
an event that we've been to before.
He's been at a few Showmasters events, but there's a whole host of Doctor Who, Fraser Hines, Daphne Ashbrook, lots and lots and lots and lots of them. Outlander, the TV show, on the BBC right now. A couple of people going to be from there. You got Duncan LaCroix and Stephen Cree, I'm pretty sure I know Stephen Gree.
The name rings a bell.
Yep.
We'll have a look. You have to send it to me.
Torchwood. It is Yanto.
Yanto.
Yeah.
Right.
And I did fuck his name up on the last episode when I called him like Gareth Owen person. His name is Gareth David Lloyd.
It was close.
We've had the chance to see him at Showmasters as well. He's been to a few of them. But that's not all they do of the TV and movies. Like they have a lot of like artists, obviously from the comic books and stuff like that. They have novels, authors, they have all that kind of thing. It's going to be a fantastic 4-day weekend. And you know what? If you want to go, and if you want the chance to meet those fantastic people and us, because we'll be kicking about.
Oh, yeah.
We won't be hard to spot because we are getting signs that say sarcasm on them, just in case there's any Americans there, because they clearly don't get it. But yeah, if you want to go to Fwelly Wales, I love saying that, for the Sci-Fi Weekender, you can go online to www.scifiweekender.com, book your tickets there, or you can ring Lisa, and I'm not going to say the number, just go on the website, find the number and ring her, because I'm not doing that on the podcast. But yeah, that's Sci-Fi Weekender,
can't wait.
which is literally, when this episode goes out, a week later, we will be there.
Damn, that's coming around quick.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's come around quick for the simple fact that we had like 2 weeks to prepare for it.
That's true.
Because I went a bit nuts.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here for. This is Indie Talk. This is Indie Talk, and tonight the episode is with Keith Sutliff, the director of the Mason Brothers. Will we just get into this?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So let's go for it.
Alright guys, this is what we got. It's a bank job, and everybody's going to be going in on this one. Orion, you're going to be the wheelman. There and back, you're going to park the van on the southeast side of the bank. Alright, and everybody's going to go armed, just like always. It's a safety precaution. Gage, Ren, you guys go for the vault. Orion and I, we go for the cash drawers, and that's it.
So we've got like 20 guys that are going after us then.
Both of my kids can go to college with this money.
I spent a max of $40 when I go to Vegas.
$40. You gonna talk?
Not to mention I've been working with you for quite some time. If you're gonna shoot me, then do it right now.
Hey, we got all day and all night to get our answers. What do you want to do, huh?
Yeah, why don't you make a couple $1 million?
Paul, you guys did a great review, man. I really appreciate the review you guys did of the movie. I saw on Reddit. I'm glad you guys liked the movie, and what you said was awesome. So,
that's always nice to hear. I mean, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but when people say that about a review I've written about a movie I've enjoyed, it's kind of like, oh, nice, thanks.
Yeah, man, of course. Yeah, I'm glad you guys liked the movie. So, it was, people don't. I didn't realize, how that many short films before this. I didn't realize, I knew a lot of work goes into making a feature film, but I mean, you'd say it'll be a year and a half from script to finish in April here from the time to work on this thing. So there's just so much work goes into it. You hope it pays off to some degree at least.
I'm sure it will. So do we want to get into it?
Yeah, we'll get going, will we? So we are back with another Indie Talk, and tonight we are joined all the way from LA.
First one in a while. We've had Brits recently.
We have. So we are joined by the director of the Mason Brothers, which we have both really, really enjoyed, and we are joined by Keith Sutliff. Keith, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. How you guys doing?
Awesome. Yeah, we're doing awesome. We're doing great.
So you'll be doing a lot better than us with that sunny weather over there that you'll be having.
Yeah, freaking dude. It's been raining over here every single day for like the past 2 months.
Oh, really?
It's now. The last week, yeah. Well, the weather's good now, though. I mean, today it's like 75, almost 80. The last few days it's been nice and warm and stuff, but all through January and February it's been raining. But it's okay now.
Well, we're coming off the back of Storm Doris.
Yeah.
So
we don't have any sympathy with you whatsoever.
Yeah. It's how it is, man. Well.
So Keith is on the show tonight because I was sent a copy of his movie, The Mason Brothers, which we're going to be talking about in a moment. Thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Put a nice little review out on the website. And
great.
Keith, we just really want to get into this, but first of all, before we do that, can we get, because obviously you started off as an actor, and then you moved into your short films with your writing and your directing, and then you've moved into a full-length feature. Can you give us and the listeners a little idea of your journey towards the Mason Brothers and how you got there?
Sure. Yeah, so I started off in the business really in Tampa, Florida. Well, LA's okay. So I moved here in 2012, and I've always loved movies since I was a child, since I was a kid, and I wanted to be in movies or involved in it, doing something. I didn't really know exactly what. I don't know if it was directing or acting or stunt work or whatever. So when I was in Florida, 2011, that's where my hometown is. I was Tampa, Florida. I started doing some acting lessons just to try it out and some stuff here and there, and ended up liking it anyways. I ended up eventually moving to Los Angeles, and like a lot of people, like when you see a movie, the first thing you see is the actors. So that's really all you know of. You don't really know much about what directors do and all these other things. And so I started doing, trying to break into stunt work, and then I started doing acting for the first year. I didn't really like the whole audition round stuff. I mean, there's a lot of rejection, like in this business, but it was just, I was constantly like driving around auditions, and I booked some stuff here and there, but I kind of came out and decided, I was like, well, I've always been interested in making my own content and writing and directing, so I took a little of a hiatus for about 6, 7, 8 months, and then I went to a film school in East LA called East Los Angeles Skill Center, and I was there for about 2 semesters, graduated from that, started doing short films, directing, writing, producing my own short films, and putting myself in my own short films, and then I opened my company, Chaos Pictures LLC, about a year ago, and then I just made my first full-length feature film. We shot it in June, and then we just wrapped everything up this past. It's still everything. It just finished the QC process, quality control process with post-production and stuff. So it's wrapped with everything. So, that's kind of a short version of how it all happens. So now I'm like full in to filmmaking, making my own content, and directing and writing, and putting myself in them for some stuff. So
quick little side question on that one, because we do the Indie Talk, and we've been having a few British directors on recently, and they've been telling us how film school in Britain doesn't really tend to do much for you. What kind of experiences did you have in film school yourself?
What do you mean exactly? Can you say the question again?
Basically, the last guy we had on, he was telling us how he went to film school and all that, but kind of just wasn't really paying off for him, so he sort of just went on his own and sort of put his own money into his first movie and got it made, and that was the way that he had to do it, because over here the film industry isn't really too great with the independents. So it was just sort of like, what was your experience kind of getting funding and getting after film school and everything together to make the Mason Brothers? Yeah,
it's well, first of all, film school is it's not. I know there's some people who are like against it, and some people who are for it. You don't have to go to film school to learn how to make a movie.
Yeah.
If you study films, because I only went for 2 semesters, and I mean, I've been studying films since I was a cinephile, so I've been studying films since I was a kid, and then after that, I really started, once I got out of film school, or I was in film school really, and I was making my films, and that's when I really sat down and really studied a film and how they, how things are put together with the shot list and all that stuff. But you don't you don't have to go to a film school. I went just for the education process. I was like, well, I would like to have some type of formal training, and and making a film is a hands-on experience. It's not really something you can just learn by reading or anything. But when I got out, getting funding for this, I won an award for one of my short films at a festival. I saw that, and that kind of, that really kind of started the momentum for me. I started building accolades and nominations from other stuff, and then I got an investor on board for this movie, and I self-funded, and I had my investor too. So that's how I got it off the ground. Because there's so many ways you can fund a movie, but that's how I did it for this first one.
Yeah, it was just more the sort of the comparison between doing it where you are and doing it where we were, or where the Korea's sort of thing, like the British sort of way it does, and the American way. But yeah, that's great.
It sounds more or less the same from what we've heard.
It does. It's kind of, we've been getting quite taken aback when we've been speaking to some of the independent directors. Like the lack of help they're getting, which I just wondered if it was the same for yourself.
Oh, it is. No, it's tough. Making a film is probably the hardest thing that I've ever done in a feature film. It's and getting the funding all starts there. It's if that falls through, obviously, you can't make a movie because you really don't know. It is so expensive just to make a movie. It's like, well, can you really be a director? I mean, if you haven't made a movie, you don't have the funding to make a movie, then how are you gonna know? That that's really what you're capable of. So, that's tough. It's tough raising the money. That's the most important thing.
Well, that was a bit of a tangent that I wasn't expecting to go down. I'm very sorry about that. I've taken the conversation down a bit.
I've got another one, actually, because
here we go.
We've never spoken to a stuntman before.
Yeah.
So did you actually do any jobs as a stuntman then, Keith, or was it just learning?
Well, no, I did not. I tried to. That's the thing. I tried getting into it. I applied. There's different sites and stuff like here in LA Castings one, and Union Actors Act, they have them where you can apply for stunt jobs. And I had a little bit of training with stunt driving stuff from the school, so I tried applying for jobs, and it's just so saturated here. I focused more on applying for the acting because there's more stuff here for that I could get into. And the stunt community is so tight knit here that it's very, very hard to break into. They use a lot of the times the same people, and more so than anything else in this business. So. No, I did not. I tried getting into that, but never actually broke into that. But I started getting into the getting acting roles, and then branched off from there.
Broke into it is a good choice of words as well for a stuntman.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad I didn't know. Maybe it's a good thing because maybe I'd have 20 broken bones by now if I did do it.
You don't want to be Jackie Chan in it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think you probably made the right decision there.
So basically, in these interviews and these little chats, we like to make our job as simple as possible and make your job as hard as possible. So, with that in mind, could you give us and the listeners the elevator pitch for the Mason Brothers? Tell the people what it's about, and yeah,
sure. What it's about? Okay, yeah. So it's about a group of these four brothers. It's really three brothers and three blood brothers, and when this guy Gage. There's a guy they've been working with for a while now, and they treat him as a family member, almost as a blood brother, because they trust him and know him. So it's about these group of organized criminals, bank robbers, and this is their last main bank heist before they get out of town in Los Angeles. There's this bank, what they know of, called the Westland Bank in downtown, has $10 million there, and they hit every bank in under 3 minutes. Anyways, they go to this bank, and basically while they're there, they get, I don't want to say ambushed, but they get intercepted by this other group, this other gang. They have a shootout. One of the brothers gets shot, eventually dies. That's the whole plot line for the movie. They're trying to figure out, okay, we'll hit every bank in under 3 minutes, so who these guys who showed up at the same time they did, one, and then two, who told these guys about them being there. So there's some guy, there's a mastermind, there's a guy who's behind all this. So they had this bounty hunter guy who's out. He gets these suspected guys, I think, who could be them. And that's kind of how the plot unfolds. However, I wrote it non-linear, non-chronological, so the story is cutting back in the timeline a whole lot, almost like a Memento from Chris Nolan or Inception. So it's cutting back and forth in the timeline, and the audience is, you piece together the puzzles as puzzle pieces as it moves along. That's a general overview of what it's about.
Yeah, you could definitely feel the influence there within the movie, and it was very cool.
Yeah.
So one thing I did want to compliment you on was the dialogue between the three of the main characters.
Yeah,
in particular when they were sat around the table and they were telling stories and what have you. I love that. We love a bit of dialogue.
Oh, we're very big wordy fans.
Hey, that's good. Then you'll like my type of movies, man. It's interesting you brought that up because I wanted to show some movies don't do this, and some filmmakers don't do this. As you watch the movie, you see, like you said, there's certain parts where they're just kind of shooting the crap. Like when that Gary guy comes over, that dude they've been working with, and they kind of hire on to help them out. Figure out these guys are there. kind of shooting the shit for a little bit. So, I put that at certain parts in there, even with the brothers and with Jerry and with other people where they're just kind of talking about life and stuff. Just my reason for that is so the audience sees more about who these characters are and their personalities, and how they talk and express themselves. So they get an in-depth look of what these guys are really about, not just talking about the story itself.
Yeah. Again, we both absolutely loved a bit of dialogue. So, speaking about the cast, speaking about the other guys in the film, so you've got a core cast there of sort of relative unknowns, really. But from the performances in the movie, Keith, you really wouldn't know it. So, how did you come about finding and casting such strong leads in there? I mean, in particular, Brendan Pearson. Michael Whelan as well. Right. So how did that come about? How did the casting come about?
It was pretty interesting how it came about. So I started, when I started doing my short films, I did the casting the same way. So in LA, there's the breakdown service is what they call it. Breakdown Express is where you can go on as a casting director, or any person who wants to cast a project, and you can put up a project, right? And same with LA Cast, you do the same, and you can put up the details of stuff on the auditions, and the breakdown services here, that site that called Breakdown Express or Actors Access, they're linked together. That's where all the main agents and managers go, and they post, or they help submit their actors to breakdowns, to like the big stuff, and then the lower budget stuff too.
Yeah.
Like big, Chris Nolan movies, and also the smaller budget things. However, you can sign up as an actor and self-submit, but you don't have access to all the big stuff. Only the agents and managers do. But anyways, I use that site mainly, and then LA Casting. Started doing auditions with my team, and we cast a lot of people through there, and then some were through referral. Matthew Webb, a great up-and-coming actor, a very talented guy. He's a childhood friend of mine that I've known since middle school. And I know he's been back and forth in LA and Hawaii, working on like Hawaii 5-0 and some shows. And I knew he was back in California. He was working on a project up in North California, right? So I called him, and I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for this part for somebody to fill. We've always wanted to work with each other on a project. And I've known him for so long. I know he's a good actor." So I hired him on, and then through him, he referred the Jesse character, which is Brand Sean Pearson. This guy's phenomenal. So he brought this guy, helped bring him on, and I took a look at him and his materials, and I was blown away by what he was able to offer. And he did a phenomenal performance in the movie. So I got him through there, and then Mike Whalen I got just through the auditions, and same with Julian Cesario. Let's see, Tim Park I've worked with him on prior films, short films, and so yeah, it was a combination of all that. And there was another guy, Steve Beathers, who was a referral to through Matt Webb, and so he kind of helped with some of referring some people what I was trying to fill, but that's kind of how it all went about.
Kind of like a domino thing. Then you get the one guy in there, and then they all kind of fall into place, sort of thing.
Right.
In particular, Chris and I both agreed that pretty much everybody in the cast put in strong performances, but we both loved Brandon Pearson's Jesse. He's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely. No, that guy's great. You guys know this guy's phenomenal. I quote me if I watched, and I think he is. I wouldn't doubt it. In the next 5-10 years, that guy goes to the Academy Award or something, wins an Oscar or something. And this guy's talent is phenomenal. He's just he's hard worker, brings a lot to the table. Very hard worker, brings a lot to the table. Just very talented guy. He comes always with his A game. He's very, very prepared. He had the most dialogue in the movie, so he's really he knew all his dialogue very well. And I let him play with some of the dialogue, but he's just a phenomenal actor. Now I was really happy with his performance, and he kind of really helped. Everyone helped make the film, but he really did a great job and helped really bring it to life, especially with that character Jesse, what needed to be that hot-headed guy who's, off the wall,
So with those performances in mind, what's it like being the director of a movie and directing yourself in scenes?
Yeah, that's the tough part. So really, and that's interesting you asked that, because like I do act in a lot of my movies. They're a smaller supporting part, or sometimes the lead, a lead, not usually the lead. This is depending, but I feel there's no one really to help really direct me necessarily, like say, hey, you're doing this wrong from an acting standpoint for the most part. So it's kind of like the way I see it is, since I wrote it and stuff, so I know kind of in my mind like how I think the character should be played out, or the characters in general. So I kind of played out on the way I think that the character I wrote for myself should be played out since I wrote it. So it's an interesting process. Like you said, there's not really someone to help really. There's no other director there to like direct you. I mean, you have your AD, but as far as like an acting standpoint, there's not.
So was there ever a moment when filming that you're sitting there and you're in the Ren character, and the director side of you has stopped for a moment because you're filming this scene? Was there ever a time that another actor was doing something and you were sat there thinking, no, that's not right, stop, do it right? Was there ever that time?
You know what? Let me think. Not as much, man. And you know what? The comments to the cast, because we did rehearsals prior, right? And they all came really prepared, and they knew, for the most part, I did rehearsals with a lot of the main cast and stuff, and they knew what I was looking for beforehand, so we kind of knew coming in. They knew coming in what I wanted. But there was times after a take I would be like, hey, change this, change that a little bit, tweak this. But they made my job so easy because, like, it's just like I just put them in this. They're good actors. That's when you have a good cast, when they're able to be in front of camera and they can just do their job, and you don't really have to even direct as much. You just sit back and watch, or if you're in it, you kind of just take a part of it. So it made my job easy. Doing that, I knew what I wanted, and there wasn't many times where I'd be like, "Hey, cut! This is not all I want."
No, just because you sometimes hear that some directors are very precious about what they've written and all that, and it's kind of like, you know what? Stop! Do it right! Do it right! Do it right! And I just wondered if you were that type of guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I am. I'm very, it's interesting you brought it up too, because it's, you write the thing, right? So then you're directing, and it's like you want it to be how you visioned.
Yeah.
But a lot of that stuff was actually during the rehearsals that happened. With certain roles and certain parts where I'd be like, hey, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I want this. So that we kind of corrected a lot of stuff going into before filming, for the most part. So a lot of that was, fixed before then. But either regardless of that, they still, I told them the characters and explained it to them, most actors individually beforehand, so I knew what I wanted coming in. I liked their auditions or their whatever reels or however I casted them,
So do you so you go in sort of with a vision in your head of how how you want it, when you wrote it, how you want it to go, kind of thing.
Yeah, no.
How you want the scene to feel, and that sort of thing. There, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. And a lot of my movies, all my stuff I do is I have a certain style to it with the dark over. If you watch the movie, that dark overhead lighting and stuff, I put a lot of that in the movies. The darkness and the dark colors of what they're wearing, the gray and stuff. That's all on purpose. That color sheen and stuff. And then the shot list, a lot of the different shots, the extreme close-ups of the eyes, or some of the moving shots, the dolly out, dolly in shots. That's all a style that I like for my films. Now I put that all in my films. So yeah, when I wrote it, that's the vision of how I wanted the scenes to look, and storyboarding. That was all coming out of my head and putting it down on paper.
So basically, while watching the Mason Brothers, it very much feels like a labour of love, and speaking to you, it definitely is a labour of love. And it was kind of just like I wanted to get a grip of how long has this film actually been with you? How long had you been writing it, or was it a case of you just wrote it and then you were able to get into filming it, or has it been with you for a while? Because it does feel that way.
You know what? It has. I wrote it November of 2015. It took me about 4 weeks to write, and then I went into pre-production immediately afterwards, and then we shot it in June of 2016 for about 3.5 weeks, finished, and then went into post-production. And then April is, when it's being released. So it'll be 1.5 years from script to screen, to completely finish. 1.5 years. So it's been a long, long process. This is my first feature. I've never done a project that big. So It is. I spend every single day on it. I mean, every single day I'm working on it to some degree on promoting, or when I was editing and helping edit, or helping with the facilitating that and the pre-production process and stuff. You spend so much time with it that it becomes a part of who you are, and you know it's very close to you. It really is. Now I understand some of these directors freak out, of their films and stuff. It makes sense. You spend just so much time with it, man.
Yeah, we've been getting that a lot.
We have been
hearing that a lot.
Yeah. So how does it feel then now that you're approaching your release date, and the movie that's been with you and giving you nightmares for the last year and a half? Now you're at the release date. How does that feel?
Man, it's biggest accomplishment of my life. No lie, it's biggest accomplishment of my life, and probably the best feeling of my life of an accomplishment. It's very hard. I mean, man, it's accomplishment to say, hey, I'm a feature film director, especially in Hollywood or whatever, and writer. It's something I wrote. It's a cool accomplishment, and that's 0.1% of the population in the world ever does or get the opportunity. Because a feature film is there's so many working parts, man, to make it and get it done. So much can fall through, and it's stressful with the money, managing the money, and people not showing up, or things falling through. You have to hire more people, or you don't have enough money for this, and this, and the film can collapse and never get made. So it's a big sense of relief come April that, hey, this thing is accomplished my goal. It's getting out. I'm releasing this thing. It's been a year and a half. The Egyptian Theater is one of the top 3 best theaters in the world. It's very historic. Robin Hood's premiered there. What else? There was what was that big movie premiered there? Drawing a blank. Oh, Alien from James Cameron.
Yep.
James Cameron's Alien. So yeah, so big stuff. It's right down from the Chinese theater, Grauman's Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. So it's a great accomplishment, man. And I feel, come April, it's going to be all this hard work and days of thinking, is this thing going to get completed? I have to get more money and stuff. It's going to all be off my back and know, hey, it's done. It's premiered. It's out. Theaters now coming up. And it's a great sense of feeling, man.
It must be.
Definitely. Yeah. So what do you think you're going to be doing the day after the premiere then? Disneyland?
No, I don't know, man. I'm going to sort of have a lot of people coming in town, friends and family from Tampa and from around other places in the United States, and they're going to come out to the premiere, and we're expecting 500 people with just other invites and stuff. So that night, obviously, we're all going to celebrate. So that'll be a big night for everybody. The next day, I'll probably just be recovering from the party before, the night before. Just kind of coming down from it all. But still, the thing's just starting. That's just the premiere. So that's a big premiere, red carpet premiere, and then the theatrical release is April 14th starting then. So then that's when that starts, and then it's going to keep going on from there. Hopefully expand from there to other theaters, and then after that's done, it goes to my distributor for VOD and the foreign market and all that, airlines, all that stuff. So it's just starting, really just starting.
All things that sound like a headache, but you'll just be living the dream. You're going to be living the dream.
Yeah, man, it's great, man. It is a headache, but it's great.
So one of the questions I kind of we'll start wrapping up in a little bit. One of the things I wanted to know is most websites that I've seen that have talked about the Mason Brothers, and our website included, I sort of said that Mason Brothers has been likened to Reservoir Dogs and The Untouchables,
right?
And as you said, there's a clear sense of the sort of Christopher Nolan dark tones, which wasn't lost on me because I love a Christopher Nolan movie. So,
right.
But who out there as a director? That's obviously 3 directors right there, but who out there do you look to and just think that's who inspires me?
I've been asked that before. I think it's not really one director. I grew up watching so many movies and falling in love with so many different movies and even directors, their work. It's kind of like this. It's been influenced by a lot of different directors' work and work in general. There's not one person. I have so many different favorite films. Catherine Bigelow from Point Break. She does a phenomenal job in all her movies, and that's the highest film. So she's great. Obviously, a lot of media people keep quoting Quentin Tarantino. He's great too. He's phenomenal at telling stories and writing dialogue. So he's good. Good Chris Nolan, Brian De Palma. There's that guy, the guy who did The Equalizer and trained
Fuqua. Antoine Fuqua.
Fuqua.
Yeah.
He's great. He's great. The Revenant director's great. There's a guy named, it's overlooked. He's more of an independent director named Xavier Jens, and he did The Divide with Michael Biehn, the guy Hicks from Alien.
Yeah.
And he's great. So, I mean, there's so many different works that I like. There's not really one person who really inspires me,
Yeah.
So...
No, just a question.
That's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So on the Mason Brothers, could you do us another little bit of a solid and tell everybody where they can find out information about the Mason Brothers and where they can get it upon release?
Sure. Yeah. Best place, you can obviously, the social media platforms is where it's most active. The Mason Brothers has a movie page on Facebook. You just type in the Mason Brothers in the search menu. It will show up. That's where the most up-to-date stuff's coming in. And then my company site, Case Pictures LLC, on Facebook, or my name, Keith Sutliff. You can find stuff on there. And then obviously CasePicturesLLC.com, and then the MasonBrothersMovie.com is the official website. And then Twitter, you can find me at Case Pictures LLC. And that's all that stuff has updates from the movie. But the social media is the more updated. That's getting updated every day. So that's the best place to find it for the theatrical release and all the other stuff coming up.
How important are you finding the social media? Because this seems to be a big thing right now with sort of like the independent movies coming out now. Social media seems to be a massive, massive part of things right now, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. No, it's very important, man. It's I think the whole thing, years ago used to be just people putting websites up online.
Yeah.
That's how they would try to like market and stuff, and like Google ads and stuff. But now everything's switched to social media, and the reason because it's an interactive thing where people can interact with, that company or whatever by liking and commenting and stuff like that. So it's more so in messaging easier. So it's like that's where a lot of independent movies and even studio movies. I saw that like I said, that director who did The Equalizer, Antoine. He did The Magnificent Seven. I had a Facebook page even. So like even bigger budget movies are being put on there.
I think they are starting
that's
to.
Where all it's that's where we're shifting to is the social media.
So you mentioned the theatrical release there, Keith. So is there any in America, for our American listeners? Is there any group of theaters that's releasing it, or is it right across the US?
Yeah, so mainly, we're starting in LA. We're going to expand from here. That's the goal. So it's going to go to first the Downtown Independent Theater in downtown LA, and then also Lemley's Santa Monica Film Center Theater in Santa Monica. So those are the two theaters we'll be at for about a month. Time frame starting on April 14th. So if you want to see it, that's the best place to see it, those two places. And then, like I said, we're going to try to expand it from there to other theaters across the country. And we're even looking at theaters in Utah, and then there's possibly even the UK, so over there where you guys are at. So
I was going to say, we have a theatre in our hometown.
We do?
Yeah.
If you want to do a British premiere, we'll help you out there.
Yeah. Hey, heck yeah, man, let's do it.
It's done a premiere before? It's done a world premiere before?
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
It was the premiere of Resident Evil 5, I want to say.
I thought it was 12.
Really? One of the Resident Evils. It was the world premiere with Berwick upon Tweed, so there you go.
Really?
Absolutely,
nice.
absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
The director, is it Paul Thomas Anderson? Is he not from this area, or he's got family around here?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
You just want a holiday in Berwick.
Aye.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
So
interesting. Yeah, you never know.
One thing that we love to do to really put you on the spot for one of our last questions is we have a section on our website and on our show which is called the 365 Picks, which is a section in which we are choosing 365 movies that we feel our guests and our listeners should watch before they die. Not that they have to, but that they should. So we've been asking our guests, directors like yourself, do you have a movie in mind that you could throw out there that listeners should go and watch because it's amazing?
Yes,
like I said,
movie in general.
It is to put you on the spot.
Yeah. And I think. Well, can I say? Does it have to be like a a big name movie, or
it can be any movie whatsoever. Any movie whatsoever. We've had some corkers so far, so any movie.
Okay, I would say my first one, man. It's probably my favorite movie of all time, is Inception by Chris Nolan. That's phenomenal. You gotta watch it. A lot of people have probably already seen it, obviously, but if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. You know, if you haven't seen it, most people have. I would say that one.
That's a good movie.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
That's a good choice.
It is a good choice, and we will add that to the list.
We will. We certainly will. We certainly will. So, that was Keith Sutliff. Keith, thank you very, very much for taking the time to speak to us tonight.
Yeah, we know you're busy. We know you're very, very busy. So it's been getting you on the phone to speak to you has been absolutely cracking.
And absolute best of luck for the premiere next month.
Mm-hmm.
We're sure it'll go very, very well.
Great. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's thanks for having me on the show, and let me know if there's a way I can find a copy of it or anything later on.
I'll send everything over to you. I'll just invade you. I'll just send it to you.
Great. Thanks, man.
Literally, once you've spoken to us, there's no getting rid of us. So,
hey, we'll be in contact, man. Any questions you guys have, we'll let me know.
That's brilliant, man. Thank you very much. And I do have one last thing that I do want to ask before we go.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for Keith Sutliff? What do you have coming up? Any projects after the Mason Brothers, or is it just sort of get the Mason Brothers done and then, as Chris said, the day after we'll start worrying about that? But do you have anything else coming in the future?
I do. I'm currently writing my next feature right now. I want to do. I have a couple of spec scripts. I mean, stuff with like bigger budget and stuff I could do, but to be realistic, I'm doing another one. What's not as high as budget. What I can do. After this one, and that's what I'm working on now. It's this movie called The Refuge. I'm writing. The Refuge means safe haven. It's basically quick. It's about this group of 5 to 7 complete separate personalities, such characters of these organized criminals would converge into one area, trying to achieve one goal for one thing. They get this tip from these people what they're trying to get at this one location. But I don't want to ruin too much of the movie. That's basically what it's about. So that's what I plan to do, though. I want to direct and do that one next. I'm writing. So
yeah, sounds pretty interesting.
It does actually. Yeah. So you're just going to keep yourself busy and keep on going. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, that and hopefully, who knows, man? This might lead to acting roles too. So I would take those as well. So I'm not just saying let's just do filmmaking. I would do other stuff and other people's projects. Of course,
Nice, very nice.
Good stuff.
So with that, we'll just say, thank you very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Honestly, like when we, because we've been, I get sent like quite a few sort of like I don't want to say low budget, like the independent mall movies. I've been getting sent quite a few. So there's been a couple recently that I've watched that it's hard to write a review. It is. So when I sat down to watch the Mason Brothers, I was absolutely buzzing with this movie because it really was one of the best things I've watched recently. It's a great film, so it's just a pleasure to speak to you.
Dude, that really that means a lot to me, man. That makes me feel good because it's like if we spend so much time on this thing, I want to make sure this was done right.
Yeah, man.
Chris Hughes, my cinematographer, Earl Weber, part of an Oscar-winning movie in 2010. This guy's phenomenal. So he shot off a 4K camera, and it looks great, I think. So I'm happy that you guys liked it and you thought it looked good quality, and didn't look like a blockbuster.
Like we said earlier, we love dialogue, so ticked all our boxes.
Great, and hopefully you guys like the trailers too, and we put those together. And
that was what I watched first. Actually, I watched the trailer first, and when we got the link sent through, and as soon as I saw the trailer, I said to Kev, "Hell yeah, we need to get this guy. We need to get this guy on 365 to talk about that." So,
and I told people like they watch the trailers and like, it looks pretty good, it looks okay. But I was like, no, watch the whole movie. Wait till you see the whole movie. Watch the whole movie.
Oh, definitely.
The trailer was supposed to sell too, but
there's so many trailers nowadays that just ruin movies. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's nice.
And it goes back to I was telling someone it goes back to Reservoir Dogs. I told someone the other day, I was like, even you watch Reservoir Dogs trailer, it looks like a decent movie, like a good movie. But when you watch the movie, it's like, hey, that's a cool hit. Classic it's awesome. So it's like, you gotta watch the movie. So.
Surprisingly, not one of my favourite Tarantinos.
I don't know. It's up there. It's up there. I just I prefer Pulp Fiction to Reservoir Dogs.
Of course, that one's great. No,
yeah.
no.
It is the one.
Job well done on that one.
But yeah, Keith, honestly, thank you so much for just taking the call. I mean, this means a lot to us. We're literally just two lads from a small town who, like yourself, are complete cinephiles. We love to just watch the movies, and now we get to speak to some guys who are making movies. And again, it's just been great speaking to you. I can't say it enough. So I'm going to stop.
I feel the same way, man. I appreciate this opportunity. This has been great. Okay. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Okay, right. Thanks again, man.
Hey there, kids. Do you want to hear a show where a bunch of guys sit around in a comic book store and talk about comics and lifestyle choices, other goofy things and shenanigans they get up to? Then
when have we ever talked about comics? Usually it's people sitting on my lap and riding the struggle bus.
That's true. It's mostly shenanigans. But occasionally we talk about comics. And if you like any of those things, comics, shenanigans, Devin's lap, then you need to check out Snake Oil Comics with me, Travis, and my beautiful co-host, Big Dev.
Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and snakeoilcomics.com.
So, that was a good interview. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that. We got some nice stuff out there. I did feel a bit awkward when I asked him the question about like film school and that. Because obviously when I listened back to it, when I was editing it, I asked quite an awkward question. Yeah. When I was listening back, I did cringe.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Because,
These things happen.
Full disclosure, we did record that, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it'd be about that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
But we had the episode with Corey coming out. We had our normal episode. Obviously, I got delayed uploading that one. But it's here now, and it is a fantastic interview. Keith was such a nice guy to come on the show and talk to us little Brits on our little podcast about his movie.
Which is coming out...
April the 11th.
Yeah.
April the 11th. It is being released in the Egyptian Theatre in LA. And then it is being released theatrically. Sort of... mini release. It's not. I don't think it's getting a massive, huge release straight away, but it will be getting that, because it is a damn fine movie, and when people start seeing it, they will. If you build it, they will come, so to speak.
Nice.
A little bit of Kevin Costner there for you. And after that, it's going on VOD, video on demand, which is kind of where independent movies are living right now. They are flourishing right now, and I'm sure it'll be on Sky, Netflix, Amazon, all those good-ass places that you can get it. Keep your eyes out for the Mason Brothers. We loved it, and it's 365 recommended.
It is 365 recommended.
And I think that's the only recommendation you need.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because don't go looking for the percentage.
No, never that.
We don't talk
about that.
We don't talk. But what I do want to talk about for one quick second is what is with the Americans not getting me?
Not getting you?
Yeah.
What, all Americans?
All Americans don't seem to be getting me right now.
Well...
Is it the British, sarcasm, wit, or is it just me?
See, I thought I was more sarcastic than you.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Because, you know me, I like to poke the bear.
Mm-hmm.
And when I write a comment, 9 times out of 10, it's because I'm trying to poke the bear.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I'd say a good 9.5 times out of 10.
Yeah.
That's the case. And I keep leaving these comments, and today I left one that I really think went that so far over everyone's head that they thought I was being serious and actually congratulated me in a way on what I said.
So they think that they've won you over now?
I think they do. They don't know me very well, do they? Yeah. Who are they? But yeah, this has been episode 67. Nearly forgot. How can you forget with your order 66, which was terrible.
It wasn't.
It was terrible.
It was solid.
So,
yeah.
Would you
Another
like to...
damn fine indie talk.
It has been.
This has been 365 Flicks.
Who's next on indie talk? Do we have another one lined up?
We do have another one lined up. It is...
Can we give it away? If you can remember the name? Because I can see you struggling there. If you can remember the name.
Now, but in what order are we going to release it? Because we recorded it on the same night
right
as we spoke to Keith. Is that right?
Okay.
So when are we going to do another regular episode and then release that one?
Yes, the next...
So the next indie talk is going to be a movie called Sustain.
Yes.
And it's,
who directed that again?
Damn fine guy called Dave Hastings. And
well done.
You can suck my balls, Kev.
Well done. That literally just came back to you right there. Because I could see the cogs turning, and then all of a sudden it was like, bing, light bulb.
Fuck you.
But yeah, episode 68 will be coming next week. It will be a normal episode, depending on how my move goes.
That means Dave's on episode 69.
Yes. Wow. Do you think you'll like that? I think you'll like that.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah. That's like a special episode to be part of. Yeah. So yeah, the next episode will be a normal episode, depending on how my move goes. I might just end up throwing that episode out. So it might be 68, it might be 69. Either way, you will be getting a fantastic interview with a fantastic up-and-coming British director of what looks like is going to be a fantastic movie.
Definitely.
And he made a movie with Ian McNeice, and we are friends with Ian McNeice.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that as well.
By friends, I mean spoke to him once.
That counts.
So yeah, everybody, goodbye.
Aha.